Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily English Talking. I'm Jay, and sitting right across from me is the always energetic, always smiling, and always on time Linda. How are you doing today, Linda?
Hi, Jay. Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. I slept really well last night, had a big breakfast this morning, so I feel full of energy. How about you? You look a little tired, but also kind of excited.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I slept late last night because, don't laugh, I got stuck watching a video about Japanese swords for 2 hours straight. You know when YouTube traps you? One video becomes 10?
Only 2 hours? You're improving. Usually you watch until 3 a.m. But Japanese swords, that's interesting. Why the sudden fascination?
Well, I stumbled on this video comparing a katana to a bullet, and I ended up thinking, wow, this could actually be a cool podcast topic. And then I thought, yes, we should talk about this on Daily English Talking.
Katana versus bullet. That sounds dramatic, like something from an anime or an action movie. But now I'm curious, where did this idea come from?
You know how people on the internet love testing extreme matchups, sword versus gun, old weapon versus new technology, that kind of thing? And I realized there's actually a lot behind it: history, physics, culture, skill. So I thought, why not turn it into a fun conversation?
That's true. And honestly, Japanese culture is always interesting. The katana is such an iconic symbol. Meanwhile, a bullet is like the ultimate symbol of modern power. Okay, Jay, I'm officially intrigued. Let's do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Daily English Talking. Today's episode is titled Katana versus Bullet. Who wins?
All right, let's jump into it. First question, Linda. When you hear katana, what's the first image that pops into your mind?
Easy. A samurai standing alone on a hill at sunrise. Wind blowing dramatically, cherry blossoms falling in slow motion, and he's holding this beautiful, shiny sword. You know, classic Japanese movie vibes.
Right, right. Meanwhile, when people think of bullets, it's usually loud, fast, and chaotic. No cherry blossoms. More like action movies, explosions, and people running for their lives.
Exactly. A katana feels poetic. A bullet feels explosive. So, Jade, tell me, what did your late night research reveal? Can a katana beat a bullet?
Okay, so short answer, no. The bullet wins. But the long answer is actually more interesting. It's not just about strength, it's physics. A bullet travels at hundreds of meters per second. The human arm, even the best swordsman in the world, can never swing that fast.
So you're saying if a bullet is coming toward you and you try to block it with the katana?
Yeah, you'll be in the hospital. Or worse, the katana will lose, and so will you.
But wait, what about all those movies where someone slices a bullet in half, like in Matrix or anime? Are you telling me Hollywood lied to us?
Hollywood always lies to us, Linda. I hate to break it to you. Movie physics belong to a different universe.
That's heartbreaking. I always wanted to believe some super skilled sword master could actually slice a bullet.
Actually, here's the twist. The katana itself is so strong and sharp that it can cut some bullets if it's mounted still and the shot is close enough. But that's the sword doing the work, not the person. Humans are the weak link.
Oh, I see. So the katana can sometimes beat the bullet, but the human cannot beat the bullet.
That's right. Unless you're a superhero. But in real life, no chance. Now, here's the interesting part. The katana wasn't designed to fight bullets at all. When guns were introduced, samurai armor changed and eventually swords became more symbolic than practical.
Which makes sense. You can't really sword fight someone with a gun. The katana became a cultural treasure rather than a battlefield tool.
Exactly. And the craftsmanship is insane. Some katanas take months to make, layer after layer of steel folded together. Meanwhile, bullets are mass produced. Millions of them, cheap, efficient, designed only to hit fast and hard.
So it's basically ancient art versus modern technology, beauty versus speed, tradition versus practicality. But Jay, here's something I've always wondered. Why do people love the idea of katana versus bullet? Why compare two things from totally different worlds?
Great question. And I think it's because humans love extremes. We love seeing the old fight the new. We love imagining what would happen in impossible situations. It's the same reason people debate samurai versus knight or lion versus tiger. It's fun.
True. And I also think the katana represents human skill. You need years of training to use it well. A bullet, anyone can pull a trigger. So there's something romantic about the sword. It feels more heroic.
Definitely. It's like comparing a handwritten letter to an email. The bullet is efficient. The katana is emotional.
That's beautiful, Jay. Very poetic.
Thank you. I practiced that line in the mirror.
Of course you did. Anyway, let's talk about what would happen in a direct match. Imagine someone swinging a katana while someone else fires a gun. What happens?
What happens is the sword user loses, unless the gun jams or the shooter misses. But in a perfect scenario, the bullet hits the target long before the sword comes close. It's just speed.
Yeah, bullets travel too fast, and firearms changed warfare forever. Swords couldn't keep up.
Absolutely. But here's another angle: durability. A katana can actually get damaged by a bullet. If a bullet hits the blade, it can chip or bend it. Katanas are strong, but not indestructible.
So the bullet is like, I'm not pretty, but I get the job done.
Exactly. And the katana's like, I'm beautiful, but please don't shoot me.
Poor Katana. It wasn't made for this battle.
Now, let's shift the conversation. If the katana can't beat the bullet, why do people still admire it so much?
Because it symbolizes discipline, honor, tradition, craftsmanship. It feels alive. A bullet feels disposable.
That's a good point. The katana is a symbol of an entire culture. The bullet is just ammunition.
And maybe that's why the debate is fun, because people aren't really comparing weapons, they're comparing ideas. Old versus new, slow mastery versus fast results, human skill versus mechanical power.
Wow, Linda's getting deep today.
It's the breakfast, I told you. Eggs give me wisdom.
I should eat more eggs then.
Yes, you should. So, Jay, if you had to choose katana or bullet, which one would you pick symbolically?
Symbolically, katana, definitely. It represents effort. You have to practice, you have to earn skill. A bullet doesn't make you a warrior, but mastering a sword does.
Same here. I'd choose the katana too. But if we're talking survival, I'm grabbing the gun.
That's the most practical answer.
So, in conclusion, katana versus bullet isn't really a fair fight. They belong to different eras.
The bullet wins in speed and power. The katana wins in culture and artistry.
Exactly. And that's why the conversation is so fascinating. Not because one weapon wins, but because each represents something meaningful.
Well said. And with that, we're reaching the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to Daily English Talking. If you enjoyed this discussion about katana versus bullet, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends.
And if you have any crazy matchup ideas you want us to talk about, samurai versus ninja, sword versus lightsaber, robot versus tiger, let us know in the comments.
We love weird topics. The weirder, the better.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Jay.
And I'm Linda.